Welcome to the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Alex Lawson, filling in for Tom. It is April 14th. There's a lot going on, including what looks to be a really disastrous potential showdown between Donald Trump on Twitter and North Korea. The last thing that I want to see this administration bungle their way through is some sort of nuclear diplomacy. The story is there is some indication that North Korea will test a nuclear weapon. Donald Trump talking with Chinese government officials and with his own administration have been trying to signal in his very Donald Trumpian way that there would be strong repercussions to this. And the chance of just a misunderstanding that leads to catastrophic nuclear catastrophe of a unimaginable scale is real. This is Donald Trump we're talking about. And my biggest concern of this story is the Brian Williams effect. I was hosting when we were talking about I was hosting the Thom Hartmann show here when Donald Trump ordered the missile strikes into Syria to basically hit around the runways of an airfield that had been cleared of people and equipment because they'd called the Russians and told them beforehand. It was seemingly just political theater. But the media loved it. The media, it reminded me, I've never lost my contempt and hatred of the corporate media. It really rekindled it, though. It really rekindled it to see just because there are television monitors in the studio here. I actually watched an entire 3 hours, probably 7,000 times. I had to watch those missiles launched over and over again. Brian Williams called it beautiful. It was basically universally beloved by the media personalities, by the corporate media. And this is Donald Trump we're talking about. He's a very simple person. He does things that he craves accolades. He craves people liking him. And he's addicted to watching television. And he learned that if you fire missiles, the television loves you. The corporate media loves you. That was probably the first time in his presidency, which is now, I think, at 86 days, is astounding when you think about it, because it definitely feels longer. But that was probably the first time where he could click through all of the corporate news channels and see positive coverage of himself. Now, the polling has shown that the American people, basically, it doesn't matter what they thought about intervention or non-intervention in Syria. They did not think that Donald Trump had the temperament. It did not increase the popularity of Donald Trump among the American people, which was a shocking but positive news to me. I was pretty bleak after that, after watching the television just give him accolades all day long for throwing missiles. Raytheon produced missiles, to be clear. Raytheon, a corporation that Donald Trump owns stock in and personally benefited from the stock price increase that happened after he threw those missiles into Syria. So I'm saying all this in that I believe that Donald Trump is a very simple person, and that that positive reinforcement is the only thing that really got through to him. Oh, if I act belligerently in a militaristic fashion, I get positive accolades. And that is so dangerous. And now thinking that he can maybe reprise this role in a showdown with North Korea is, on this Good Friday, April 14th, a terrifying thing. Something that I find deeply scary and it's, again, as I said, my hatred or distaste or contempt for the corporate media has never gone away, but it was definitely rekindled. And now I feel like we will reap what they have sown, which is this incredible, there's an arousal that the media gets in terms of covering war. When they show those missiles launching off the ship over and over and over again, it's just, and right now they're talking about the tough response. And my biggest concern is just that this is basically, for Donald Trump, it's political theater. He just wants to be, he wants the television to say nice things about him. But in North Korea, watching these headlines, one after another about Donald Trump, with a preemptive strike, and the NBC is putting out news, the likelihood of a miscommunication, of a crossed wire, goes up just wildly. And that's what's worrying to me today. And that's why it's so important that we demand that Congress have a very heavy oversight in any issues of war and peace and the use of military force, and that Congress push for a very deliberative process on any of these, because I do not trust Donald Trump to do anything. I don't trust him to do anything. But in terms of nuanced diplomacy and even understanding the countries that are involved, I don't think the man has a understanding, a historical understanding to match, a grade schooler on this stuff. And that's what's worrying to me. I don't have an enormous amount of faith that the Congress would even come to the right answer, but at least it would be deliberated in sunlight. At least there would be a process that would bring people's voices into it. So obviously, that is a big news story today. There's a lot of other news stories going on. We are now in the end of the first week of recess, and the town halls are happening all across the country. There was a town hall in Arizona with Senator Flake. Arizona is... let me actually back up. There was a Kansas special election this week that was a really scary result for congressional Republicans. And the resistance recess that's happening right now, there's the tax day march tomorrow. The resistance is continuing to gain steam, to grow, and the Kansas special election showed that there are political repercussions to this, that the people in the streets are turning out, and we need to increase the political repercussions, but that they are real. In Kansas, in the district where the Koch Industries is located, this is a Republican district, what's called plus 27, R plus 27. They have a built-in advantage of 27 points. And the Democratic candidate, who was a notorious Bernie-crat, an open populist, aggressive progressive who ran on his authentic values. I don't believe he had a single D.C.-based consultant. He definitely had no D.C. money going his way. And he came within 6 points of winning that seat. I mean, it's just, that's an astounding result. Sometimes in politics, a loss, if it's a good loss, is actually as good as a win, or on its way to a win, because it's not a single instance. And that's what we're looking at. So Jeff Flake in Arizona had a town hall that did not at all go his way. And we're going to be talking with a guest who's going to join us to tell us about, what is this looking like in Arizona? What is this resistance looking like around the country? We definitely just need to increase the volume across the board. We need to increase the volume across the board. We need to defeat Trump care again. It'll never go away. We need to protect and expand Social Security. Mick Mulvaney and Donald Trump are now trying to basically take a backdoor attack on Social Security by eliminating the payroll, the dedicated contributions. And we need to raise our voices because there is absolutely nothing to indicate that Donald Trump should be making by himself, the awesome decisions that come with, or awful, that come with war and peace. And so I want to talk about all of that. It's Friday. I want to talk about what you want to talk about, but mainly I want to talk about how now is the time that we need to increase our voices even more than ever before. And we have another week where the story is going to be on us. It's going to be really focused on the resistance, the tax march tomorrow, and everything else that's happening around the country, which is raising the people's voices. We're going to take calls from you all show long, so stick with us. You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Alex Lawson, and we will be right back.